What I'm doing here is disconnecting the fan's power cable from the main power supply board. If this temperature persists for a certain period, the system automatically switches the heater to cool-only mode. You can see the system has now started a 60-second shutdown countdown. I'll press the power button on the unit. Nothing. Right then, what we are going to demonstrate today is what happens when the space heater's fan gets damaged during shipping or rough handling and can no longer provide proper ventilation. This is actually quite a common scenario that can lead to serious safety hazards in the home. Now, what I'm doing here is disconnecting the fan's power cable from the main power supply board. This completely cuts off all electrical power to the fan motor. So when we plug this heater into the mains and switch it on, the PTC ceramic heating element will still get hot as normal, but the fan won't turn at all. There'll be absolutely no air circulation whatsoever. Let's see whether this causes overheating that could damage the unit or, worse still, create a fire hazard. Right, as you can see, I'm now reassembling the heater with the fan power cable deliberately disconnected. Brilliant! Now, I am plugging the heater into the wall socket and switching on the main power switch on the side. You can see 2 dashes have appeared on the display, which means the unit is in standby mode and ready to go. Let me press the power button on the unit itself. There we go. It started up normally. Now, I'll press the M button on the remote to switch it to maximum heating power, and I'll press the temperature up button 5 times to set it to the highest setting of 35 centigrade. Let's see what happens, shall we? Now, I should mention that this particular test unit has been modified slightly from our retail models. The display is currently showing the internal temperature from the circuit board's temperature sensor rather than the ambient temperature from the external probe at the back. We've done this because, with the fan not working, there's no air circulation between the heater's inner space and the outer environment. Even when the internal PTC reaches nearly 200 centigrade, the external ambient temperature might not change at all. Right? About a minute has passed now, and the internal temperature has climbed to 33 centigrade, 34 centigrade, and it's still rising steadily. What's going to happen next? I must admit, I'm getting a bit nervous myself. As we all know, space heaters cause tens of thousands of house fires globally every year, and a significant proportion of these are due to fan failures that prevent proper heat dissipation. There we go, 38 centigrade now, and you can see the heater is trying to cool down. The power consumption has dropped to around 0.3 watts. During the cooling cycle, the PTC stops heating and only the fan should be running. Depending on the speed setting, the fan normally draws between 1 and 3 watts. But since we've disconnected the fan power, it's not getting even those few watts. That's why the power meter is showing just 0.3 watts, basically standby power. And there it goes again, heating for just a few seconds, then trying to cool down again. We are now about 3 minutes in, and the internal temperature has reached 40 centigrade, 41 centigrade, 43 centigrade. Do bear in mind that whilst the DisplayBoard sensor reads 43 centigrade, the actual PTC temperature is already somewhere between 150 and 200 centigrade. It's just that without any air circulation, the heat spreads incredibly slow through the internal components. The whole point of this demonstration is to see what happens if the fan completely fails or is severely damaged, providing inadequate airflow for proper cooling. Our safety algorithms should have mechanisms in place to handle this sort of extreme situation. Let's see if our safety systems kick in properly. Shall we? The internal NTC is now reading 45 centigrade. We are now 5 minutes and 20 seconds in, and it reached 46 centigrade. According to our algorithms, 46 centigrade is a critical threshold for initiating cooling procedures. If this temperature persists for a certain period, the system automatically switches the heater to cool-only mode. Look there, our safety control program has automatically switched the heater to CL cool bin mode. Once in cool bin mode, the system continues monitoring the temperature in real time. If it can't effectively reduce the temperature within the next 20 seconds, and the temperature continues rising to dangerous levels, the system will display a high temperature warning and automatically shut down. You can see the system has now started a 60-second shutdown countdown. There is a red warning icon in the top left corner of the display, and the heating icon at the bottom left is flashing continuously, warning us that the heater has overheated. Right, the fan icon has disappeared, and the heater has completely entered standby mode. The display is now continuously flashing fault code 01, whilst the heating icon at the bottom left continues flashing as well. If you check our user menu, you'll find that fault code 01 indicates overheating. Let's see what happens if I try to restart it. I'll press the power button on the unit. Nothing. Let me try the remote control power button. Nothing there either. Please note, at this point, do not touch the heater with your hands, especially the metal grill sections, as they are still extremely hot and could burn you. Just leave it to cool down naturally for several hours. Even in standby mode, the control system continues monitoring internal temperature in real time. When the temperature drops to a relatively safe level, the fault code 01 warning will disappear. To speed up this process, I'm using an external fan at maximum power to cool it down. Let's see how long it takes for the fault warning to clear. Look that, the fault code 01 warning has disappeared, and the heater has returned to normal standby mode. This is the safety protection our intelligent safety algorithms provide for you during the cold winter month. They not only keep you warm, but also give you complete peace of mind when it comes to safety in your home.